But I want to talk about something first. I want to talk about the Democrats, their love affair with lying, and the burden of carrying all those lies all the time. This was addressed this week in a spectacular piece. It's a must-read by Victor Davis Hanson called The Crushing Weight of Lies. Hanson's optimistic that the crushing burden on the Democrat Party to continue to lie to the American people is going to be exposed shortly. As he states in the opening paragraph of the piece, he says, "One reason I remain optimistic about the impending end of wokeism and the failure of the Cultural Revolution is that the dangers they pose are unsustainable. And by that, I mean they require such dissimulation that the load of lies eventually will snap the spine of those asked to carry and disseminate them." So what are the things they're openly lying about? Well, first is obviously immigration. Did you see this tweet by our own Bill Melugin? He's actually down at the border, folks. Like, he's there. He can see it with his own eyes. He tweeted this week that the city of McAllen, Texas, says the federal government's released over 7,000 COVID-positive migrants into their city since February, including over 1,500 new infected migrants in just the last week alone. A local state of disaster in McAllen has been declared. It's not Melugin lying. It's someone else. Look at this video, by the way. Your eyes lying to you, or Bill Melugin's eyes lying to him? This is people piling out of buses into McAllen, Texas. You see it right there on your screen. This wasn't some AI that created this. So who do you believe? Your eyeballs or Jen Psaki and the Biden administration? Take a look at this.
Does the president think his immigration plan is working?
Well, the president continues to convey to anyone, as you've said, who wants to come to the United States, now is not the time to come. It is not the time to come and try to go through irregular migration. We're still at work on and improving a process and improving a system that was very broken when we took office.
Folks, we have no border, okay? Let's just be candid and stop the insanity, please. The southern border's been entirely evaporated by the Biden administration. You can waltz right in here. And Jen Psaki is trying to deflect from that question because she knows it's going to be electorally damaging in 2022. It's a lie, but she carries the lie all the time. And what's Joe Biden up to? Is he telling the truth? No, the truth and Joe Biden, they don't mix. They're like oil and water. Joe Biden's busy blaming other people, notably Republican governors, and that's not an accident, Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott.
Some governors aren't willing to do the right thing to beat this pandemic. Then they should allow businesses and universities who want to do the right thing to be able to do it. I say to these governors, please help. But if you aren't going to help, at least get out of the way of the people who are trying to do the right thing.
The incredible irony of this failed president attacking the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, about his handling of coronavirus at their border in Texas while promoting open borders himself. Oh, I mean, if this doesn't get under your skin, nothing ever will. Also, how disturbing to attack the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, who's had a relatively good track record in his handling of the coronavirus in his state, my home state of Florida. How do I know that? Because I believe in this thing called numbers. Here it is, Florida. Listen, every death is tragic, folks, no doubt. It's a serious crisis. But where does Florida rank when you measure deaths per capita per 100,000 people? They rank 25th. Who's at the top? New Jersey and New York City, and Massachusetts, by the way. New Jersey and New York City led by, yes, Democrats. But yeah, he focuses all of his ire on Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott. The burden of carrying these lies all the time. The good news is Ron DeSantis wasn't having any of it.
Joe Biden suggests that if you don't do lockdown policies, then you should, quote, get out of the way. But let me tell you this. If you're coming after the rights of parents in Florida, I'm standing in your way. If you're trying to restrict people, impose mandates, if you're trying to ruin their jobs and their livelihoods and their small business, if you are trying to lock people down, I am standing in your way, and I'm standing for the people of Florida. So why don't you do your job? Why don't you get this border secure? And until you do that, I don't want to hear a blip about COVID from you. Thank you.
The endless lies, the deception. There's an opportunity cost to this. It's preventing us from focusing on what really matters here. treatments, therapeutics, public education. They're not doing any of that. They're too busy lying. And the final lie. Imagine carrying the burden of this lie. The lie that the crime wave in liberal cities, that was just a summer thing.
Crime is historically rises during the summer. And as we emerge from this pandemic, summer spike may even be more pronounced than it usually would be.
We see spikes in violent crime typically during summer months, often, unfortunately, during holiday weekends.
This is an obvious lie. They must think you're idiots. The numbers don't lie. People are seeing it. Some of these people have been victims. Look at this. Murder rates in liberal-run cities from 2020 to now. 85% up, 96% up 30%, 52%, 82%. Portland, 327%. These are real people. These are real lives. These aren't statistics. Folks, 2020, 2022 can't come quickly enough. Your family matters. The country matters. And the truth matters. It's time for this party to step up and tell the American people the truth. We can deal with it. We're never going to fix this place if you can't tell us the truth about what's wrong.